Hi guys, you're welcome to Delaware Studios. We are still on Android Material Design Basics. In this particular module, we'll be talking about the Android Material Design Navigation Drawer. This is a full working demo which I'll be explaining to you in details on how to achieve the Android Material Navigation Drawer. We're going to be importing the material icons, which is actually going to serve as the icons for the menus, and we're going to actually be integrating the drawer to each menu activity. So it's not actually going to be a different activity entirely. It's actually going to be incorporated with the drawer functionality, and I will be doing some other functionality right there. So I'll be actually showing you on how to achieve this, and I will implore you to still sit back. I want you to code along as I'm actually going to do, and you're actually going to enjoy and learn a lot from this particular module. So let's get started. So right here in Android Studio, we're going to be creating a new Android Studio project. Whereby we're going to call it Navigation Drawer. I want it to sit right in the Android Studio project. So that's fine. Click on next. We're actually designing for phone and tablet. Next. Let's go for an empty activity. Next. The activity name, main activity. The layout name, activity main. That's fine. So let's have the structure ready. So before I continue, I have a drawable file, which is actually going to be the logo that's actually going to sit at the profile section of the navigation drawer. So actually created for the MDPI, HDPI, XX, HDPI, and even the extra large. So I actually have it, and I will be pasting it directly into the structure. So we're going to have the navigation drawer. Yeah, there we go. The app, the source, the main, the rest. So I'm actually going to be taking away the map XHDPI for now. Move that to trash and paste. Now I need to take away HDPI as well. To trash, paste this. That's fine. This is just what I'm talking about. I have this logo, created already. So, and I have it in different dimensions for HDPI, MDPI, and even for XX HDPI and for the extra large. So that's it. So let's go straight to Android Studio. We have our project structure ready. The main functionality here is right in the rest. We're going to use a lot. We'll be using the drawable. We'll be using the layout. We'll be using values, strings, styles. So I just want you to follow along with all my explanation. So let's start it. Right in the rest, we'll first of all import the material icons needed for this particular navigation drawer. So we right click on the rest folder and we click on image assets. That's for the image. We're going to pick on the vector asset. That's fine. We have the material icon, ready. So I will be importing some specific icons, which I want you to also do the same. You can import something different. That's no problem with that. I will be importing in the image something called the photo camera. Let me look around. That's the image black. No, I need something of this nature. The photo library black. I need this, so I will import this. Click OK. Once you have it, you have it this way, and you also click on next to have it imported. So it's actually going to sit in the drawable as an XML. So you click on finish. We're not through yet. Still need to import some other ones. click on the vector asset. I've imported the library. Still on the image. I need to import a sort of camera. This. Let me go for another one, which will actually be a little bit simple. This, something of this nature. How about this? I think this is good. So click on OK. Click next. Finish that up. Get that imported. They are very lightweight, so it's highly recommended to use material icons or SVG file, to depict your menu icons. Very, very recommended. I will be importing these as well. The view black. Click on OK. Click on next. Finish that up. I'll be importing. I'll need the send icon, which actually sends. Let me look at the shushu. Maybe I'll have it there. I need a share. So let me click on that. I need a share. That's fine. Import that. Also need 2 more vector assets. I will need a send icon. Let's see, maybe I can. Let me look at the toggle. If I can get it. Shushu. Notification. Navigation. No. Look at this. Where, let me go back to the all to search for it. You must actually know the kind of icon you want. We have enormous icons right there, so sometimes they may actually look clumsy. Okay, there's the send. I have the send there. Click on OK. Next. Finish that. I need one more, which will actually be for slideshow. Click on next. Let me go to image. I think that's where that can actually have a slideshow right side in the image or something of this nature. I think I have one of these. Let me look around. So once this for video, I should go for these. Just so let's actually pick these. This one for the slideshow. So we click on OK. Click on next. Finish that up. Now we have all our drawable. Can you see them? The build black, the camera, the photo library, send button, the share, and also the slideshow. So these are going to be the menus that we're actually going to be using. So moving further, we're going to be creating the menu directory. Click on directory or menu. So right inside there, we need to undo all these vector graphics. So right inside this menu, we'll be creating an XML file called activity main drawer. Activity main drawer should serve as the menu. Now we're going to actually include those menus as different group type. So the first one will be the group. Let's follow along. Android, checkable behavior, single. It's fine. Now we have the first item. We're going to assign an ID. Android ID, which will be equals to gallery. That's fine. So let's not forget, before I continue from here, I would like to import some modules right in the Gradle script. We actually need some modules right there. We need our modules like the support design. No, we've actually not import that dependency. So let me quickly do that so that we have other things working for us. So let's have the design. Now I'm going to call on compile com Android support design version will be 25.1.1, just the same with the app compact used. So we sync. So while syncing, let's go back to the group item. So let's continue with our menu. Now we have the gallery. Yeah, fine. Examine not well formed yet. I know that, but we have the Gradle included. Now let's call on the Android. Icon to use, so which will be pointing to the drawable. This time IC photo library, this one. It's fine. So you see the way we are bringing them in. Android. Now we have a title. So now comes the title. For any string values in Android, it is recommended not to add code strings. You specify string values right in the values. There is a string XML that handles all string usage in your application. So take note of that. Don't always add code string values. So I'm actually going to specify all string values now so that you'll be able to know the ones we'll be using. So first string will be name. We have the app import. So it's advisable to specify string values right inside the string XML. Don't add code string values. Import. So these are all string values that will be used. We have the string for the app gallery. So just be making reference to that while coding. So let's take the pain to specify all string values. This is recommended because a change, just if you probably need to change just the value, you just come to the string to change it, and it reflects in all aspects of the code that make reference to it. So that's the essence of not hard coding. But once you've hard coded, you need to start changing from one item to the other. That could be cumbersome. So this helps a lot. String slideshow. That's for slideshow. Slideshow. We have another one. String tools. That's for tools. Communicate. Should be for communicate. Have another string for the share. For the share. Menu. We have the string. It's time for the app send. All for the menu. So we'll go back. Send. That's fine. We're still going to come back to the string while coding, but let's continue with our menu. Now the title here will be calling the gallery, which is actually going to be string. Specify this way string. You can see them right there, app gallery, easily. So you don't add code. I like to close now with item, just close this way, short way to close. Now let's have another item. So assign an ID, which will be equals to I'll call this one file imports. The icon, which should be drawable, IC photo, camera. These, if you should notice, they're all in black. We use the Android themes to give it color. So we call this app imports. You can see it's getting faster. Close that right there. We have another item. Let's assign an ID. Let's call it slideshow. This time, call the Android icon. Drawable, IC build, slideshow. Over there, the Android title, and string should be the slideshow. Right there. Close that. Let's have the next item. Assign an ID. Android. ID. I'll give it nav tools. Android icon. Drawable. This time it's going to be the build. Build black. That's fine. That's the title. We call on let's give it title. Title we call it on. Let's give it tools, which are tools. Close that right here. That's fine. Now we have the closing group. I want to specify another pattern of how you can set your menu, which will actually be for the item. Sorry, give the title of, which will be for communicate. Now we're going to specify a sub menu, right inside there. So call this, and inside this menu there will be two items. First one, assign an ID, Android ID, or I'll call the share button or the share menu. Call the icon, drawable. This time I say black, share black rather, and we call the title, which will be a string. Share. It's fine. You can see the help of specifying the string makes things faster. Now the last but not the least, give it an ID. Under the ID, it should be the send, and we're going to call the icon. These are all vector drawables, and not built icon or designed icon, that drawables. This time will be IC send black, and the title will be the send, app send. Very good. We have the drawer, which is actually going to be the menus, are set appropriately. So from here, we will be moving to the layout files. We have some layout files right there to use, which I'll be showing you what they are doing. So we're moving to the layout. We have the activity main. Fine. Now we're going to call the drawer layout. I'm going to change this relative layout over there to Android. Just follow along. Support version 4. Widgets. Drawer layout. This way. That's fine. We have the tools. We have the Android. Now we have the width and height match parents. That's fine. The padding, we don't need paddings. Take away these. Right inside there, we'll need the Android. Fits system windows to true. That's fine. We need context. Now we need to call on the tools to open up the drawer. Tools, open drawer, which will be equals to. Now we're going to call start. Tools to open drawer, start. That's fine. And we're going to be needing the rest also. Maybe as time goes on, we're going to talk about that. The tools context, not needed. So right inside this particular text view, also not needed, we're going to include something quickly here. Let's be looking how I'm going to integrate the navigation drawer, the layout. We need a layout called layout, called app bar main. This is actually going to house the content of this particular layout. Give you an Android layout, layout height, which will be match parent. Now we also give the width, layout width, which will be also match parent. Because we don't have the layout yet, so that's why we're having that red sign, but we can still continue. So let me include the support design widget navigation view. Android support design widget navigation view. That's fine. Now I'll be specifying an ID, which will be nav view underscore view. After that, I'll be specifying the layout width over there, which will be wrap content. The corresponding height, match parent, and I'll call the Android layout gravity. Layout gravity, which will actually be start. We're going to call Android fits system windows, assign true to that. call the app. Now we need item text color. That's for the text color. That takes us down to the color XML. So don't add code color values. That's another best practice. Don't add code color values. Now I'm going straight to the color XML to specify those colors I'm pointing out. Nav text. Those are the colors we're talking about. So let me quickly import this two. I have that. Now I'm calling the app item icon tint to give the icon a color. That's what that is actually going to specify. I'm going to call on the color. We have color. I'm going to create that nav text. Before I continue, let me quickly create the colors XML so that we'll get to know the colors that will be pointing at here. Now we have the color primary, we have the color primary dark and color accent. I maintain that color, so you can also maintain that. And if you have a different color, probably from the logo of your client or from your own personal logo, you want to extract the color. So that's this where to actually specify all colors to be used. You have the color sharp, it won't be hash. So you can easily get color codes from graphic editors. Adobe Photoshop can extract some color code for you, so you can need color codes here. You need to pass in the color code to specify the kind of color you're using. Color name. We're going to use another one called color sharp. This time 2. This time will be hash 07 1F53. Another color code, color name. This one will be color nav text. For the nav text, it's only white. FFF 000, white and black. 2, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. Back to the activity main. Can you see all the color codes are gone? We still need to, now we call the text color and the item color int. We need app header layout, including a layout called header layout. Header layout. We're still going to create all these at layout. What we call the nav header main. That's fine. That's going to be unique to all menu item. Now we point the menu itself. That's where we need a menu. What we call at menu. The menu we created. Can you see that? And we call it activity main drawer. We have that created. So we're going to call it background. Calling the color sharp. That's fine. So if you notice, we don't have the layout app bar main and we don't have the layout nav header main. So let's first of all create the nav bar main so that we can get to do the app bar main rather. We can get to create that. So right in the res layout, we create another layout resource file called app bar main. That's fine. I hope you're following. It's actually for your learning. This should be a coordinator layout. I'm going to call Android support. support, design widgets, coordinator layout. That's fine. We have tools, which is the rest Android. Orientation, do we need this? No, don't need any orientation. So we take this out. Layout with tonight, match parent, fine. Let's move on. We're going to call Android fits system windows. We assign true to that. We're going to now call the tools context, where we're pointing out here. So it will be main activity. That's fine. Import this. Once enter, we import that. So right there, we'll need the Android support. These are from the Android support design, which I actually imported from the dependency design widget upper layout. We need this. Then I'll assign an Android layout width, match parent, Android layout height, wrap content. We're going to call the Android theme. Now here we go. We need a theme here, so you can see it. We need to touch all aspects of layout design when it comes to navigation drawer. It's not just the normal toolbar that you just get yourself going with. So you actually need to integrate all. So we're actually going to create the theme. But let's specify it this way: style, core app theme, app bar overlay. So we get to close it. Actually don't need. Okay, now inside still the need a space. We're going to create the Android support version 7 widget toolbar. It's fine. And it's an ID which equals to let's concatenate ID toolbar. We're going to need the layout with tonight. Android layout width, match parent, Android layout height, call the attributes, action bar size, Android background, attributes, color primary. Now we call the app.pop up theme, which points to the style app theme, pop-up, overlay. Not specified this way. So let's go to the style to actually point out the theme. First of all, let's pass in the style name, which will be app name, which calls on the app bar overlay with the parent of theme overlay, the app bar dark action bar over there. Now I'm still going to point out to the style name, app theme, pop-up, overlay, the parent, theme overlay, this time point at the light. That's just different overlay because we need to make the draw overlay layout. So that's why we actually need to point that out. And we also need another theme, which is for the no action bar, because we actually don't need an action bar. So we're going to, should be no action bar. We're going to call this right in the manifest. So just watch how we integrate that. With an item name of window action bar, don't need this Android. Set that to false, and need the next item. It's an item of window no title, window no title. Now we call that true, so that should be fine. Back to the app bar main. Now we have the pop-up overlay. Let's go back. Let's see what's actually fine. Now we need to include the content right there. We need to call the include layout. So this is just how we're going to do for each menu that wants to use the drawer layout. Slightly hectic, but still call the content main this way. So that means it's actually going to be using the content main. Never mind, now we need to create this content main. Right inside the layout, we need a content main, layout resource file called content main XML. Click OK. Let's go back to the text. So we need to, so this is where the content of this particular layout will sit. Now all integration was just because of the drawer navigation that we are actually including. So relative layout, orientation vertical, match parent, layout width and height. That's fine. And we'll call, do we really need the tools? Let's see. To show in out layout, the app bar main. So I will need to import this. Now we call the text view to display what we have, just to have a content. That's the essence of this. Layout with a match parents. Match parents. See that for me. So called Android text. So we're not going to add code. We're going back to the strings. Let's have the string values for back to strings. We need to add more to this. First string name will be nav demo. We're just going to inflate just 3 menus. We can't get to do all menus, just 3 of them. So you get to integrate for others. It's just a demo purpose. So this is the string value for this particular name. Another one for gallery. We're going to have these gallery activity. Another one for file import. I get to have these file import activity. Right? Get to have for the slideshow string slideshow. This slideshow activity. That's fine. And let's create the other string value that we might need. Might need for the name, which is the action settings, which is just for the menu at the top bar. Other settings. We'll need 2 other ones, but we'll get to do that later on. So back to the content name. What about we now going to specify the kind of string we need? Add string. We need nav demo. That's fine. Have it set. Now you call the Android padding or 20 dp, and you give Android text size, just a text view, 30 sp. You also give Android layout margin top. Take it away from there, or let it sit at the middle. That's fine. Take away this. After set right. Now this is 3 activity just for the launch activity. Now for the 2 other menu, or for the any other menus you need, you definitely need this 3 activity replicated. That's just how it flows. Now we still need the nav header main. We need to create that, which is actually going to have the icons, which is actually going to be the logo or a profile name or a profile picture. That's just what that is. It's actually going to be a new layout resource. Nav header main. Back to text. Linear layout, or make it vertical. Find the height. I have to specify the height. We need 192 dp. Now the width match parent, that's fine. Let's integrate other things here. We need gravity, bottom. We need padding all around, both top, bottom, left and right, 16 dp. we now call the theme, which will be art style, theme overlay app compact dark. That's what we need here. Now we need a background, so we can easily call the colors we need, which will be color sharp2. That way, can you see what's forming right there? We need Android. Wait some. Let's just give one. That's fine. Now we need to introduce an image view. Layout written height. The width, let's make 100 dp. Now the height will be wrap content. We're going to have the source of this particular image, which will be the bitmap, where we have the logo. You remember, actually brought in the logo, and we're going to actually have Android as the source, layout margin left. Let's give 10 dp. That's fine. On Android, scale type center crop, and Android layout width 0.72. That's fine. So we have that set. This layout width, very important, that actually make it more visible. Text view, so we need a text underneath the image. Match parent, wrap content. Now we're going to call Android text. So we're still going to reference the string. Now we call art string. We've not created this, but we'll call it the app. Let's give it app menu name. App menu name, back to strings. We need to create that somewhere here. String. So for that, string app menu name. We call it global mall online. That's fine. Back to the nav header main of the set. So we'll give a text size 100. Wow! Text size 15 SP. Give it style or bold, and we also give an appearance. Text appearance app compat body 1. That's fine. We have that set. So we need to continue with our integration. We have the activity main, the app bar, and we also have the content main and the nav header main. That is for the main activity. Now we're going to have for the slideshow, the gallery, and for the import, because we actually need a navigation drawers for all these particular activity as well. So let's get to create them. Let's go back to the activity main and have a feel of what we're seeing. I'll find definitely some rendering issues, but that's fine. We have the menus of this particular vector graphics are shown. It's actually not showing right on this preview, but once we are testing out on the emulator, you're going to see how everything has been highlighted and fully working. But let's move on. Let's create the activity XML for the gallery, for the file import, and also for the slideshow. Let's first of all pick up the gallery, new layout resource, activity gallery. So here it's just going to be a sort of replica of the activity main. Just get a copy of this, go to the gallery, click on text, paste that. Now instead of the app bar main rather is going to be app bar gallery. That's just it. So we need to create that, and that's fine. We have that set. So that takes us down to the app bar gallery. So we need to create that. Now this app bar gallery is just a mimic of the app bar main. So a copy of the app bar main, you need that. Go to the app bar gallery, you paste that right there. Now you need to change the content. Instead of content main, which is actually for the main activity, it's going to be content gallery. So that's just it. How simple. Now you need to create that content, which will be content gallery. So now content gallery. In content gallery, you just pass in the value of the content main, but do your own trick, since it's just we're just bringing out a text file, just a demo text file, not that we are integrating some special functionality. Now that's fine. Instead of calling the nav demo, we're going to call the string app gallery. You get it? Let's quickly look at the string. Now we call the gallery, not the app gallery, content gallery. Now we call the gallery. That's fine. Whereby we should have a different string type. This should be for. Now we actually don't need this. We don't necessarily need this. That's fine. So this is gallery activity. Even for the app bar main, for the content main, we really need this layout. That's fine. That's it. So the same thing we're going to do for the file import. Let's quickly do for the file import. And we're still going to do for activity file import. Now get a copy of the gallery. This. Go to the file import. Replicate that. Now you're going to change this to file import. That's fine. File import. So we need to create the app bar file import. So now still on this gallery, need a copy. Now we need to change this as well. about file import, which should be, so we need to change this to file import, and we've not created that. We'll get to create that as well. Now we need to change the content to content file import. Now we create content file import. So in content gallery, pick a copy, get it pasted in a file import. So here now will be file import. Are you following out the flow goes? So let's create for the slideshow will be the last activity we'll be creating here. Activity slideshow. Now from the gallery, a copy, select copy, move to the slideshow, paste the right there. Do we need to change something? We need to change this, which will be slideshow. We'll get to create that about slideshow. Slideshow. Click that up. So from this gallery, it's to pick a copy. Now we need the activity slideshow. Have we created the slideshow before? About slideshow now. From this, pick a copy. It's about slideshow. Move here. Paste the right there. Now we need a content for the slideshow. So now we need to create content slideshow. Or else, if you didn't do that and you want to use the drawer, it's actually going to show a null pointer exception. So you need to actually, no, I don't think that's the content. So pick this up, copy, pick that up, paste. Now the string here will be what? Slideshow. That's just it. That's fine. So we have the layout set and ready. That's cool. We get to move on. We have our string, our styles, and even the menu, which is actually holding on to the material icon, which were imported from the vector asset. So let's get to include all these layouts right inside the Java code. So in the Java code, we have the main activity. Now we'll also need other activities like the file import, the gallery, and slideshow to hold on to these three menus that we're talking about. So in the main activity, which is the launcher activity of this particular application, so this is where we'll actually be doing some things. Let's find the main activity, which calls the activity main. So now we're actually going to extend app compact, which we've done, and we will implement navigation view and call on the navigation selected listener. So we have the layout activity main set. Now let's call on the toolbar. We need a toolbar here. We have the object toolbar equals passing the toolbar, and we get to find the view by ID, which will be ID toolbar. Now we set support action bar, passing the toolbar as a parameter. We call the draw layout class draw layout. How about we create an object called draw? This time we still call the draw layout. We get to find the view by ID. Our ID draw layout. So we need an ID called draw layout. Let's get to look at our inclusion. Did we actually include an ID? Oh, so we need to actually give an ID of draw layout over here. So we need this, very important, or else you won't get it referenced. We need at ID, call the draw layout. Now I need to make this reference on other XMLs that reference the draw layout. And we have for the file import, we need to make reference to that. That's fine. So back to the main activity. We have that set. So we continue with the code. Now we need to call the action bar draw toggle. But there, give an object called toggle, instantiate with a new action bar toggle. Now, right there, we make reference to this class called the draw, called the toolbar, and now we're going to need another type of string, which is the R string called navigation draw open. We must have the corresponding close string navigation draw close. Never mind. Let's have that set. So back to the strings XML to make reference to that. Need to set that. The first is the navigation. Let's say the string name, which is navigation draw open. Give it the name open navigation draw. The second one will be the close string name navigation draw close, which we're actually going to give close navigation draw. That's fine. Back to the main activity. Should have that gone, so we can just continue. Now we need to call the draw and set draw listener. It's been deprecated anyways, but still useful. Set draw listener, and we pass toggle. It's the parameter. Now call on toggle to sync state That's fine. Now we're going to need the navigation view, in which, let me create some space here, because this, when we call the view, create an object, navigation view equals to the class navigation view. Close that right there. Sorry. Close it. Find the view by ID. R ID nav view, or the navigation view. Now set navigation item selected listener to this particular class. That's just it. So take that away. We have it set. Now we're going to have the on back pressed. Let's have at override. We're going to have the public void on back pressed. So we call the drawer layout, give an object called drawer equals, now we still need to cast the layout, find a view by ID, which is still the drawer layout. So we need to test for if the drawer is open, that is drawer open. Now we call the gravity compact to start up. Is our inbuilt functionality. Still we call the drawer to close drawer, and we pass the gravity compact to also do a startup. That's fine. Else call the super on backlist. That's the essence of the override. We need to override this right there. So now we're going to have the on create option menu. You should know that override. It should be at sign, not hash. Now we call the public boolean on create. Have to space this on create options menu, but we assign the menu object. Need to import this. Alt enter will bring that in for you. So we get the menu inflator, call the inflate. Now you get to call the menu layout, which is nav drawer. We've not created this, we got to create that menu. Now you need to return a true value. Return true. So let's quickly create this particular menu file called the nav drawer. Just it's actually going to hold on to the settings, which are actually for the nav drawer. Now inside here, we're going to specify the item Android action layout. Do I need this? No. I need an ID, which is actually going to be action settings. So need Android order in category Android. Need another one, Android title, which will actually be the action settings. Can you see there? That's the essence of, and we call the app show as action, which will be worth never. Now let's import this. Alt enter. Sorry. Enter, open there. Let's close this right there. That's fine. Back to our main activity. Now we have our navdrawer set. We need to call on the override, which is the on option item selected public boolean on options item selected. So for that, on options item selected, we need to pass in the menu item, also item as a parameter. Need to import this, bring it down. So we need to call an integer, which is an ID, to actually get item ID. That's fine. So test for if the ID equals to the action settings. That's the sense of the action settings. We're actually going to return true. Now we still make reference to the superclass. That's the essence of the override. Now we return the super as if not. Super. Return super on option item selected, pass the item as parameter, and close it out. So after this, we need to undo the navigation view item clicks. So we got to do that right here. So we call, actually don't like, just need it. Yeah, virtually need more space to work. So let me just, okay, that's fine. And let me bring out this, that's fine. So I need more space. So I'm going to call on the public boolean on navigation item selected, on navigation item selected. We're passing the menu item as parameter and also the item. So this time, that's the essence of the on navigation implement that we did. Now test if we need the ID before we get to mention the if statement. We get item ID. To get the ID. Now we use that ID in this if statement. If the ID is equals to AR ID gallery. Actually specify this ID right in the menu. So we call the intent search intent. That's just an object. Let's import the intent. Search intent. We instantiate with new intent, and we get to pass main activity is calling gallery class. We'll be creating that class later on. You know how to pass in an intent. No, this is actually a class. So we're going to start activity. I will pass search intent as the parameter. So we're going to actually do a sort of animation, or we call the override pending transaction, and we call the animation anim dot pull in right and also the anim push out left. That's fine. So that takes us down to the rest, where we need to create an animation directory. Anim. Right inside this animation directory, we'll be creating 4 XML. The first is the pull in. That's the animation resource file. It's called pull in left. Just want to animate the drag of the drawable. So let's create a translate. And get to have Android duration 300 milliseconds. Android X delta should be minus 100%. Android to X delta, from X delta to X delta 0%, and we need an Android interpolator. Which will be, we call Android and name decelerate interpolator. That's it. Take away this. Now we got to copy this because we're just going to be needing some copy of this. So we need to create the pull in left Android resource file. Pull in left. So let's get to look at what is pull in left. Oh, we have the pull in left. So for replication, for replicating, we need the pull in right. So now we paste that in. So in the pull in right, the duration is 300. Now we take away this minus to 100. That's fine. Let's create another one, which is push out. Push out left. So the push out left is still going to follow the same queue. Now from X delta will be 0 to x delta, which will be minus 100. That's fine. So we'll create the last one, which is push out right. In the push right, the duration 300 from x delta maintain 0 to x delta, which will be 100. That's fine. Back to the main activity. Now we have that GAN. So we need to else if for the other menu, we have two other menus that will be handling. If the ID is equals to our ID, file import, what we actually need to do here is just get a copy of this, come over here, paste that right in. Now it's going to be main activity towards to file import class. That's all. Now for the third one, else if if the ID equals ID slideshow, it's for the slideshow, is that right there, instead of gallery to be what? Slideshow. Slideshow class. So out of the else if, now we need to call the draw layout draw equals to draw layout, find view by ID, our ID, draw layout. So we close the right. Now we call the draw to close draw. We're still passing the gravity compact start. On true. Very important. Now we need the gallery, file import and slideshow. Let's quickly clear that. New Java class, gallery. Another one, new Java class, file import, new Java class, slideshow. That's fine. The set, right? We're okay with this. So for us to implement the same draw in the activity created, which is the file import, gallery, slideshow, we need to call the toolbar. We need to just do the same thing. Now I'm just going to copy this. Just watch the way I'm going to do it. Just copy this. Need to copy this down there. So right in the gallery, you still need to extend the app compact activity, and you need to implement navigation view call on navigation listener. That's fine. You still need to pass in the onCreate method, protected, void, create, bundle, save the instance state, so over there you call the super on create, saved instance state. This time you set the content view to its particular layout. This time is going to be what? For the gallery, it's activity gallery. Now let's get to paste what we actually copied out from there. So we have it pasted. That's fine. Now over here, what would it be? It's just going to be gallery, same thing goes here, gallery. That's it. Same thing will go for the file import, extends, app compact, implements, navigation view, we call on navigation change listener, item listener. Now you still specify the override, create a protected, void on create, bundle, save instance state, call the super on create, pass the saved instance state. Now you call the set content view to its layout, dot activity. This time will be file import. That's fine. Now you paste in what you got from the main activity. This time you're going to change here. Not the same thing you do for. This time it's going to be what? File import. File import. File import. So the last one, which is the slideshow, extends, app compact, implements, navigation view, on navigation change listener, add override, protected, void on create, bundle, save instance states, call the super on create, save instance state, set the content view to the layout. This time is going to be what? Slideshow. That's fine. Once you're doing this, you're right on course. You paste that in, change this to slideshow, change this to slideshow, and also change this to slideshow. That's fine. One more thing, the manifest, you need to register those activities or else the application will crash. So let's quickly do that before we test that in the emulator. This is actually, now you call the gallery. That's fine. Give an Android label. Let's for sake of time, let's just encode this. No, but not recommended. Key in another activity. Android name. This time will be file import. Let's give a label. Android label. Let's give that import. Close that right there. The last but not the least, activity, the name, slideshow label, also slideshow. That's cool. This is just how to create a more robust navigation drawer that will actually be used in other activity, not just the main activity. You know, you want it to stay right in other activities in the application, so you need to do that. You need to create the app bar main. You need to create the content. You need the nav header. You know, very important. You need the nav header, which actually goes onto the icon. You need the content main for each. You know, this actually houses each content of the file import menu, of the gallery, of the slideshow. And you also need the app bar, you know, that actually handles the bar. You know, you actually need that for each of those menu. And you need the activity, which is like the launcher, which actually have the navigation view. You know, and we actually use the drawable, which is actually from the material icon. You know, we actually imported them as a vector, so that's more lightweight. You know, when we actually imported the build black, the camera black, the library, and we change the color using the tint. If you notice, we use a tint of white, so you're actually going to see that right in the emulator. That's the preview is not actually projecting the vector graphics, but that's fine. It's actually working and it's perfect. And even right there in the manifest, you need to call the gallery, you need to call the class of the file import, you also need to call the slideshow. Something quickly here, we need the app theme no action bar. Sorry, not there. We don't need an action bar. We call no action bar. That's what we need. So I'll be testing this out in an emulator. Here we go, right there in the emulator. Can you notice the launcher, navigation drawer full demo? So let's get to slide the drawer. That's fine. So the logo and the text right on it, global mode online, and also set the menus, the gallery, import, slideshow tools, for the communicate with the share and send, and also a background of sort of wine which fits with the logo. You can see how we actually used colors here. So a click on gallery takes us to this gallery activity, and yet we have the navigation drawer in this particular activity as well. Same thing goes with import. You know, this is file import. We have the navigation drawer also in the file import. Let's look at the slideshow. These are the three menus that we actually integrated the slide, the navigation drawer inside. Can you see the navigation drawer for also the slideshow? For gallery, we have this, the gallery activity. So this is just how to integrate our navigation drawer right inside all activity used in an application. Thank you very much for hanging out with me throughout this bumper package tutorial, and please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Have a wonderful time. Bye bye.